Please welcome the extremely talented Anna North.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for being here. So I'm going to read 6 very, very short stories. 3 of them are just stories that are just by me. And then the next 3 are stories that are inspired by first sentences that people tweeted at me. I got a bunch, and they were all really amazing, but I picked 3. All right. This first one is called Cheese Baby. Cheese Baby. When my period came again, a day ahead of schedule, I carved myself a baby out of cheese. I only had enough for the head at first, so I had to go out and get 2 more blocks and melt the whole thing together with a candle. You probably want to know what kind of cheese I used. Cheddar. Brie was too soft. Swiss would have made him look pockmarked, and the other children would have made fun of him. Of course I know he isn't a real baby. I have named him Bobraham. It's amazing how much you can do with a cheese baby. I dress him in a little hat, I push him in a stroller. I take him to the park and the other women coo over him. They freak out when I let them get too close, but that's pretty much how people react to me too. I tell Bobraham not to worry. Yeah, I talk to him. It's actually weirder not to. Oh, I worry though. Worry when my iPad turns off. I worry. There are lots of things to stress out about with Bobraham that you wouldn't have to consider with a real baby. Mold, for instance. I cut it off with a little paring knife. It doesn't hurt him. Then there's always the issue of melting. Luckily, Bobraham was born in the winter, so we have a couple of months to plan for that. I'm thinking ice packs. And of course, there's the question of a father. I'm a traditional woman. I think a baby, especially a boy baby, needs a male role model. This, as you may have guessed, is why I'm writing to you. I think you'll find me and Bobraham very easy to live with. He's quiet, naturally, and you can eat bits of him if you get hungry in the night. As for me, not everyone considers me attractive, and many people have described me as strange. But I am the type of woman who does what she can with what she has, and over time, I think you'll come to find this appealing. All right. This one's not, there's no cheese in this next one. This one's kind of, it's a sadder. Okay, this one's called Heaven. Heaven. We were in the middle of a never-ending nosebleed. David's little sharp head pointed at the kitchen ceiling. I pressed his nostrils with tissues, swiped away the bright blood as it slid out between my fingers. The trash can was a pile of red sodden wads. David was 8, and I was 13. Our mother was working. Our father was dead. I blamed the hot wind for David's bleeding. Since early morning, it had been howling, ungodly. When we woke up, our bedroom windows were hot to the touch. We'd made a package of pizza bagels and watched the leaves strip off the mulberry tree in the yard. When the bleeding started, the tree was full. Now it was nearly bare. I smelled the fire coming in the kitchen window. At first, I thought someone was barbecuing. Then I saw the wall of fire eat the neighbor's house. We both froze like animals. We saw the flames vault over the cinder block wall at the edge of the yard. We saw the mulberry tree blaze. We heard the fire chuckling in the hedge outside, and we shut our eyes. It never came, though. The hedge acted as a fire break, and in 10 minutes, the flames were dead outside our door. We'd been clutching each other. My shirt was stained, but David's nosebleed had stopped. What happened, he asked me. And I knew it might be the last time it was my job to explain the world to him. And so I told him we were dead and gone to heaven, and we spent the rest of the afternoon marveling at how beautiful all the mundane objects in our house were, the toaster and the trash can and the crumbs of the pizza bagels, now that we had all eternity to spend with them. This next one's called The Movie Wife. It was inspired by Godzilla. The Movie Wife. The movie wife is beautiful but relatable. A few strands of hair escape her ponytail. Her t-shirt bears the name of a band or college. She hums as she stirs something in the kitchen. She could almost live in your town, your house. The movie husband comes home. It is early in the movie, but he's been through so much trauma already. He needs love. The movie wife touches his face. She traces his manly cheekbones. When he's relaxed, she straddles him on the couch. The movie husband tips his head back. She kisses him tenderly, then fiercely. We never see the movie wife's body. This is a family movie. We see her in shorts and the t-shirt, and in the morning she's wearing new ones. We must take it on faith that the movie husband has seen her. The movie wife wakes their son so he can say hello to his father. The movie wife's son looks just like the movie husband and not like her at all. Her genes efface themselves. The movie husband has to do many more traumatic things. The movie wife understands. Her eyes grow wet and she tells him to take care of himself, but she lets him go. The movie wife is good at running the household by herself. The movie wife has a job in the helping professions. She is a nurse or a kindergarten teacher. Her job gives her plenty of free time so she can take care of her son and make plans. The movie husband fights bad guys. The bad guys have rocket launchers and they have guns the size of buses. They have poison teeth and radiation breath. The bad guys are men and monsters. They kill many people. The movie husband must fight and fight. The movie wife understands. The movie wife makes dinner for her son. She cuts his chicken into pieces and makes a little game of feeding him. He laughs. The movie wife does not need to eat. The movie husband calls and tells the movie wife not to be afraid. Outside the kitchen window, the sky is on fire. The movie wife's lip trembles, but she nods. She is not afraid, she says. She might not look it, but the movie wife is strong. The bad guys destroy the house, and so the movie wife must carry her son through the streets. He's old enough to walk, but she carries him anyway. Grown men fall all around her. Women are weeping. The streets run with blood, but she never falters or tires. There is a single streak of dirt across the movie wife's beautiful face. The movie wife endures. The movie wife reaches the shelter where the terrified people cower. She helps minister to the wounded. The movie wife sees a man with a severed leg. She covers her son's eyes and goes to him. Everyone is asleep in the shelter but the movie wife. The movie wife breathes. The bad guys fight in the sky overhead. Great clouds of poison puff up and catch fire. Jets bomb the bad guys ineffectually. Then something begins to burn. The movie wife sees it before anyone else. The bad guys begin to lurch. They begin to teeter. A jet carrying the movie husband screams into the middle of the battle. There is a blinding flash of white light. The movie wife clutches her son to her body. She watches the sky. The movie husband comes to the shelter. Everything is saved. The son jumps into the movie husband's arms. The movie wife hangs back, then runs to them. She buries her face in the movie husband's neck. They kiss. His eyes are closed, but her eyes are open. The movie wife steps back. She surveys the ruined city, the smoky sky. This is the movie wife's reward. The movie husband kneels to put their son down. He looks up at her. The movie wife smiles. She spreads black wings. This movie is over. All right, so these are the ones that were inspired by tweets. So thank you to the 3 awesome Twitter users who have supplied these stories, or the beginnings of them. I basically asked everybody to send me first sentences, and then I wrote stories. These are really short. This one is inspired by a first sentence by Franzia, who is at ElevateMeU2. Her sentence is, I don't really know why people continue to ask this of me. I don't really know why people continue to ask this of me. I cannot turn people into mice. I did it like one time. And I think we can all agree he's better off. Okay, 2 times. The point is, I can't just do it whenever I want to. I'm around someone and this tension builds up in my fingertips and my forehead. It's hard to explain. Just stop asking me to turn your enemies and your difficult children into mice. I couldn't do it even if I felt like it, and I don't. What I'm really interested in these days, if you want to know, is turning mice into people. I haven't done it yet, but I can tell I'm close. They stand on their hind legs, they look at the TV. I don't know what they'll be like. It's a scary thing making new human beings. But I'm pretty sure they'll be better than you guys, who never paid any attention to me until you heard I could... Okay, 3. Okay, this one is inspired by Arctic Banshee, who is at Arctic Shadow 123. First sentence is, she put sugar in her tea, and that's when I knew. She put sugar in her tea, and that's when I knew. My sister had been acting weird for weeks. She'd call me sweetie, which she never did. She'd remembered Mom's birthday, and she'd stopped on the way to the cafe this morning to stick her face in a rose. When I asked her what the hell she was doing, she said, I love roses, in this weird, happy voice that told me 90% of what I needed to know. The other 10% was the sugar. I'd never seen my sister eat something sweeter than a lemon in her entire life. But I read the news. I knew what a sudden sweet tooth meant. "You're a killer robot," I said. Her eyes flashed chrome. She stirred in another sugar packet. "Killer's a harsh word," she said. "Well, are you going to kill us?" "I mean, probably, but not all at once, and not for a while. We have months to get to know each other." I got on my phone. "Who are you calling?" she asked. I showed her the screen. Mom. "She's known for months." "Fine, I'll call Teddy." "He knows too. We were all wondering what took you so long." I made a mental note to tell my mother and my brother-in-law that I'd been really busy lately, thanks very much, and I'd appreciate a heads up next time a member of the family was replaced with a killing machine. "How come nobody called the cops?" I asked. She sipped her tea. She looked much more relaxed than my sister ever had. I noticed a man behind us staring at her with undisguised attraction. "Listen," she said, "your sister was kind of a pain in the ass. Everyone said so. Mom and Teddy really like having me around. And if that means our time together might get cut short, they're okay with that." "And you expect me to be okay with it?" I asked. "No," she said. She smiled, put her hand on mine. I heard a mechanical sound, felt a needle enter my wrist. "Your robot clone is really nice," she said. "I think Mom's gonna love her." All right, this final one is inspired by @Cliff Moreau. "A terror of salmon sounds like a joke at first." A terror of salmon sounds like a joke at first, but we are all pretty fucking tired of this. At first, it was kind of interesting. We got on the local news, then the national. A famous biologist came to town, and then a priest, and then an expert in unexplained phenomena. But no matter what anybody did or said, the salmon just kept falling out of the sky. At this point, nobody can stand the taste of them. We've shut all our windows and plugged our chimneys, but every other morning we wake up to piles of slippery fish on our stoops, already beginning to rot. Sometimes we don't get any for 2 or 3 nights, and we start to think it's over, but they always come back. The pinkish clouds, that salty smell on the wind, and then the wet sound of salmon after salmon smacking the roof. The experts could have saved their breath. At this point, we know what we did. We did not believe the woman was a witch, and now we do. We laughed when she promised a terror of salmon after Karen Lee cut in front of her at the bagel store. But we are not laughing now. We are remembering what she looked like when she first came to our town, and how we mistook that look for loneliness or desperation and treated her accordingly, when what we should have seen was the power to ruin our lives in such a stupid way that no one would even feel sorry for us. All right. Thanks, guys.